She has over 22 years of professional experience, and out of which first 16 are in the IT industry and rest in talent acquisition. And she specializes in project planning and management, on-site offshore coordination and project implementation, training, client management, and talent acquisition, to name a few. Let's chat with Sucharitha Karri, who has spent 22 years in the corporate before taking a plunge into her entrepreneurship, and understand how she is doing as a business owner and if she has any secrets to share with the rest of the business owners. This is the Guiding Voice podcast series. The Guiding Voice for a Better Future. Friends, I'm your host Navin Samala, just a fellow professional on a mission to make the world a better place to live. Through the Guiding Voice, we drive conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Sucha, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice English. I think you have switched your role, acting as a host on TGV Hindi, to now joining as a guest on the Guiding Voice. So hearty welcome.
It's my honor and privilege. Thank you so much, Naveen. You host me on the English channel also.
Perfect.
On Hindi, I'm on the other side, so it feels strange to be.
Yeah, I get it. So hearty welcome, and let's get started, Sucha. Probably you can share the top 3 things with our audience which attributed to your success so far.
To begin with, I'm not sure if I'm totally successful in worldly terms, but yeah, I've changed my gears quite a lot. And top 3 things for getting into this entrepreneurship. First, I think it would be the transfers of my husband, which made my job very stable. So that's the first thing that attributed to me starting to get into this entrepreneurship journey. Frequent transfers, people don't like to hire people anymore. They see your CV and like every 2-3 years are shifting. So I knew it's not going to work. Now, of course, after COVID, it's changed, but those days people did encourage frequent shiftings on the CV. And second thing was, which made me start on this entrepreneurship journey is, and especially in a field which is not mine at all. Living Values is the name of my company, and I got into making t-shirts because I saw a lot of people wearing vague messages, not positive messages on the t-shirts, and I saw that they made an impact on my mind. So that set me thinking, why not add some thing to the world which spreads positivity around? So that is the second thing which I can attribute, that I thought, let's take up this journey and see whether we can add any value to the world.
Okay.
The third, I would say, is a deep need to be a messenger of my master and Lord God, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. So somewhere, due to frequent shiftings, you're not able to do continuous seva. We are very used to doing seva all the time. So let me make my life a mission and be a messenger for life and spread Sathya Sai Baba's messages and any good messages into the world. So I think these are the 3 things that made me start on this new direction.
Quite interesting. So transfer of your husband has turned into a positive thing, which it is more like getting positive of the situation. Like many times people think, okay, transfers, they treat as if it is a bane, but you turn it into a boon in disguise, which is good thing. And I also loved the problem statement that you mentioned about vague messages on t-shirts, and you wanted to change that scenario, which is again a good thing. Now let's talk about what are some of the lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur which you did not anticipate before taking that plunge?
The first one would be my assumption that known people around me will help me in my journey. That was the biggest assumption I made, and I feel terribly bad. And I've learned a very good lesson that, known people are not, they only give thumbs up on your WhatsApp messages, but not really encourage you to do business. So that's my first lesson. And second lesson I would say is to be more organized before you take the plunge. I think I just started just without too much of planning. So I think investing a little time on planning on what you want to do and how you want to do for people who are going to begin will be very useful. And knowing the tricks of the trade, especially nowadays, to know digital media, digital marketing is very necessary in whatever field you are. So please arm yourself is what I'm telling myself, and I'm also taking some steps in being armed in that direction. So these are the lessons that I've learned. I think that's all.
No. I came across this one recently when I was interviewing another entrepreneur, saying that we rely too much on our relatives and also the close circle, but they turn out to be the last customers that come to you. And as you rightly mentioned, right? Yeah, go ahead.
90% of my customers are unknown people, I will say, and probably only 5 to 7% are in the known circles.
Yeah. It makes sense because many times people have that thing, okay, we should not do business with known people and with close relatives, especially because you will have that kind of stigma when things go wrong, right? It might damage the relation. That could be one thing in case if you have to think positive. And I don't know what other factors though. Okay, great. So now let's move ahead.
I'll just take a minute to thank some of my, through this TGV channel, to thank some of my customers who have been friends and very few relatives who have stood with me right from beginning, including my husband. He is the one who first orders wherever I release a t-shirt. Religiously, he does that. So, and a few friends who have been through all my journey, they have been with me and they support me. So thank you to those people from my side.
Wonderful. I think it is always great to have such an ecosystem around us who are there with us in both good times and bad times. And you need that particular motivation. And kudos to whoever has helped Sucha. I think this is a great gesture that she is doing in terms of thanking everybody around us who has supported her in this public forum. So kudos to you as well, Sucha. Now let's move ahead and talk about you as a business owner, right? I don't know how many hours that you're spending on your business and how do you really balance your personal life with your business.
So now I've made a rule. It was a little haphazard when I was doing a lot of talent acquisition also, and I was doing business also, I had some seva also. But now I've made a rule that 4 hours in a day I'll give to business and to learning. And the rest of the time, 4 to 5 hours, whichever is left, I balance between TGV in the podcast sometimes and my other service activities, and of course, domestic work and things like that. But 4 hours in the morning, I make sure that from the last month, I dedicated to learning more about how to penetrate the business, get more customers, learning what the other people are doing, what sells in the market, because I am not a marketing person or operating. I have to learn everything on the go. So this is how I divide, and I think time management helps quite a lot in this. If you know what you have to prioritize for the day, and to know that tomorrow I have to achieve this, because there's no one with a stick behind me. If I don't know, nobody is going to ask me. But then that day is lost. So I ensure that I achieve what I'm supposed to achieve. And many a times in the night, I feel that I've not done. So after the house is quiet, I sit back and finish my learnings for the day and whatever is supposed to be done. So that's how I manage time. It is not easy, but can be achieved. That's what I can say.
No, it is always better to have the time boxing stuff and probably segregate the chunks of our time so that you allocate a certain amount to job, certain amount to work, certain amount to your family, certain amount to self. It makes sense, and it's all about prioritization and and whether or not we are following that particular regime, right? So it helps us in terms of sticking to it and make sure that we complete activities related to that day so that they don't get cascaded or carried forward to the next day because it will again lead to stress.
Yeah.
Good strategy, I would say. And with that, let's move to the next question.
Every day, I do learn something. It's not that I know it all. So every day it's a learning process, but it's fun. Yeah. And I would really like to thank the universe and my husband for not being, a lot of pressure on earning. so I can spend some time learning and correcting my mistakes. So that is a very big blessing, I would say.
Good, good. I think that is always better to have a supporting spouse, okay, who is not really pressurizing as such. So good thing. And let's move ahead, Suchan. Let's talk about your venture, Living Values. Many organizations, okay, which are into this t-shirt sales and which are into garments. And what is unique about Living Values, and how do you stand out from the crowd?
Thank you, Naveen. Living Values, as the name goes,
Mm-hmm.
is a brand which is made in which I try to put messages that add value to life and also speak about human values.
Okay.
So, if you ask me what are the human values that we live around, mainly it is love, peace, integrity, harmony, balance, non-violence. So I just don't use these words, but use quotes given by good people or whatever I come across, and try to put it in a graphic format which is acceptable by the newer generation. My target has always been youth, but I've still not been very successful in targeting them. But people have been liking, whoever has bought it. They like the designs and they like to wear it, not only for a spiritual outings or anything. It's a nice
Mm-hmm.
casual wear. So that's why the name Living Values.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, I think we should live a life where our lives speak of the values that we honor.
Mm-hmm.
So living those values through our life. That's why the name Living Values.
Mm.
And why I came to this was mainly because I saw an experiment once
Okay.
where I think many of you would have seen it, or you would have seen it, Naveen, where there are two glasses,
Mm.
one
Yeah.
with muddy water and one with clear water.
Yeah.
And the rule is that you have to put all the clear water into the muddy water glass so
Mm-hmm.
much that the dirty water becomes clear. So
Mm.
that I thought was very impactful because that's where we are now in the world. We are totally almost in a very negative state, a lot of violence. But we cannot just overturn the world and say that, okay, we are making a fresh start. So
Mm.
the only way to do it is to keep putting fresh water into it. And my kind of fresh water is good thoughts, good values. The more we keep pumping, I hope somewhere at the end of my life, I've made some little difference in this negative world. And which is why I started Living Values.
No, this
That,
is so
that's
profound. Living values means people will have their own values, but how many times are we living those values? Right.
right.
So, yeah,
We
that
speak
is,
about them a lot, but we don't live them.
we don't live them. And any quotes, okay, which stand out, which actually stayed with you for long, and probably which are the most popular ones among the merchandise that you have sold so far?
So the most popular ones have been Love All, Serve All,
Mm-hmm.
Help Ever, Hurt Never,
Mm-hmm.
and the one I'm wearing which says Only One,
Mm.
and there is only one religion, the religion of love. There
Okay.
is only one. There are many only ones, which all
Mm.
comes to religion and harmony and all that. There's only one language, the language of love.
Yeah.
So these are the things that I put. And recently I made something on vibes,
Mm-hmm.
only vibrant vibes, because nowadays vibes is a vibration, or vibes is a very very often used word.
Yeah.
So I've made that in tie and dye. And another one which is very profound according to me and my life is the life of a lotus.
Mm.
You want to, you look at the lotus, you feel nice, but the
Mm.
conditions that the lotus stays in is not really appropriate or nice or very clean, but still the lotus is shiny. So
Okay.
I there's a T-shirt. I read a quote somewhere which really hit me, which says that bloom like a lotus wherever you're planted.
Oh.
So
Mm.
wherever you go in life, wherever you're planted, just bloom that like the lotus. Don't worry about the surroundings. Your own inner beauty will come out if you stand rooted to your values and your basics. So this is one of my very close. It's close to my heart. This quote. So I've made one on this.
No, powerful
And
one.
yeah, most of yeah. And in our transfer life also, it makes sense because you don't know from where you're uprooted suddenly and put somewhere. So you can't keep complaining. Wherever
Right.
you're planted, wherever you're transferred, please bloom with grace and
Hmm.
live life that way. So that was another connotation to it. These are some of the ones which people have liked,
Mm-hmm.
and they are selling okay. And Holi last 2 years, thanks to Kiran, I must put it on
Hmm.
record.
Hmm.
Our mutual connect. He was the one who gave me the idea of doing something for Holi.
Hmm.
So because of the vibrancy of the festival and the colors of the festival, last 2 years, Holi t-shirts have been selling pretty well. That
Nice.
way.
Very nice. And business is prone to ups and downs, right? So how do you stay motivated, especially during the downtime, and how are you driven as a business owner?
Um, I don't look at downtime as downtime. I just look at downtime as learning time.
Hmm.
So I invest my energies in learning,
Hmm.
and I never thought that I would get into corporate world as
Yeah.
you do corporate orders. But looking at some of the t-shirts in the last 2 years, I've got some 6 to 7 corporate orders, which keeps me going.
Yeah.
That it's not so bad that what I'm doing because, as you know, there are huge giants in this business, and I'm a nobody. But having done corporate orders gives me confidence that yeah, I can deliver even at a larger scale.
Mm-hmm.
So people who come to me see my work and see the material and see the work. And I've done biggest corporate order I've done is for 1,000 t-shirts recently.
Wow.
So that
Nice.
was a
Hmm.
very big boost.
Mm-hmm.
So and every company has its own value, their mission statement or something. So we play around that and create designs and deliver. So they are also happy with that.
Good one. So, moving to the next question, one of my favorites, like especially for women, okay, who are looking to start their own business and who
Mm.
are held as a homemaker post their wedding and unable to break those shackles out, right? Still, they can do because today we are living in a world full of opportunities. You have to tap the right people, tap the right network, tap the right thing, then we can do anything and everything under the sky. That's my belief. But what's your take in terms of what will be your message to women who want to start their entrepreneurship journey?
Um, I know a lot of women actually who do a lot of business nowadays, thanks to
Mm-hmm.
COVID. That too, especially after and during COVID, a lot of women, the Shakti came really out of the sleeping mode. Advice as such is that if you have a passion, believe in it
Hmm.
and follow it. And if you're not getting the right support from your immediate family or the people you think are your strength, if they are not giving you the support, then there's a world outside who will support. So that is what has been my learning also. That there are
Mm-hmm.
many people out there. You just have to make the right connections, make the right network. And nowadays, networking is not so difficult, I think.
Yeah.
So it's some similar minded groups and similar minded women groups are so many all over in WhatsApp or in Facebook or in Instagram. There are many like minded people around. So join for hands with them, and the support that they will give you will be unimaginable.
Yeah.
So don't just think that if you're not getting the support from your family, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot do it. So that's my single most learning and advice.
Hmm. So that is really meaningful because many times people look at the hindrances or roadblocks, but there is life beyond those hindrances. And if something is
Yeah.
not working internally, right, definitely you will find motivation elsewhere. And people are supportive of each other more than ever, especially after COVID. Because,
So one thing is when
yeah,
somebody says no,
hmm,
no, no,
hmm,
one way of looking at it is next opportunity
next opportunity.
or next one or
Yeah,
next one. Just go to
next
the
one.
next one.
Hmm. Good
That's it.
one.
So
Good one, Sucha. So, wonderful conversation. Let's add some spice to the episode, Sucha. So, I'm going to kick off a
yeah.
quick rapid fire round. Shall we get started?
Yes.
I'm not going to put you on spot, okay? Similar to how you are putting our Hindi speakers on spot.
Am I? I didn't know that.
Okay, here comes my first question. What is something that you do not like doing?
Wasting time.
Wasting time. Same with me. What is the first thing that you notice about someone when you meet them?
Nowadays, if they're wearing t-shirts, I stare into them, so which is a very bad habit.
Which brand
I
are they
also need
wearing,
to
and are what's
not
your
brand.
focus?
I just look at the message on the t-shirt. So sometimes I feel that I'm obviously staring at people. So
Okay. Can you describe yourself in just one word?
in just one word, explorer.
Explorer. Awesome. And what is your favorite childhood memory?
Oh my God, my favorite childhood memory. I think once there was a storm at home,
Mm,
not at home, where we were staying in Mumbai, and
mm,
the current had gone and everything. And my dad never used to be with us many a times because he was a sailor on ship.
mm,
That was one of the rare times I remember that he was at home. And when the storm came and the lights went, he just dropped everything and came and closed my ears so that I don't hear the thunder.
mm.
And I was like, why is he doing this? I don't know that it's a very small thing, but it has stayed with me for a very long time as a protector, that could just drop everything and come and close my ears so that
Yeah,
I don't get scared. It's a
a
very
good one.
touching memory for me.
Touching, yeah. Heart touching. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
And here comes my next one. What is the weirdest thing that you have ever eaten?
Fire pan.
Fire
They put
pan. Yeah.
camphor
Mm,
in the pan and light it and put it in your mouth.
yeah.
And it is not so bad, but it was weird actually at the end of it.
Yeah. A lot of fusion foods are coming into the existence these days with the advent of globalization and all other means. Good.
Since I'm a vegetarian, there is not too many weird things that come into my plate.
Mm, yeah. All
And
right.
here,
So,
yeah,
mm, good, good. And as you said, like non-vegetarians have a lot of weird thing options. Vegetarians, it is
they
not
have
that
some
easy.
weird combinations also, some calamari and I don't know with some drink and I don't
Hmm.
know. I've heard of all these things, but being a
Hmm.
vegetarian, I'm a very uh,
Hmm.
safe bet.
Okay, great rapid fire so far. And with that, let me fire the last bullet. Sucha, what is one electronic gadget that you'd like to see or invent yourself?
Invent myself. Actually, I didn't think about this. I have so
Hmm.
many, but my favorite would be. I know it's a repetitive thing, but a time machine.
Time machine?
Yeah.
No, it is in such a huge demand from all the TGV speakers, and most of them wants to travel to the future. So everybody is interested and curious to see what's going to happen in future. So I wish time machine might become a reality. Yeah, okay, somehow
Yeah.
as many people are wishing to see it, right? Maybe universe will conspire to create one.
So I want a time machine to go into the past, not
Okay.
the future.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are some ways in which you can go into the past even now, but I
Mm.
don't have that capability of. I've tried it
No.
actually. So I just want to see from where we have evolved and what made me come into this life as
Mm-hmm.
Sucha. So
Mm.
that is my query. That from was I a stone or a thorn or something, and from where have we evolved and come to this state?
Interesting, and I wish your wish comes true. And with that, let's
Yeah,
flip back to the mainstream, Sucha. And
yeah.
what will be your advice to those people who are just starting out?
Just starting off, please take advantage of a lot of government schemes which are helping entrepreneurs currently. I have not
Mm-hmm.
yet explored, but there are lots of schemes by government, especially for women, if they
Mm.
want to start out on business, and some incubators by IITs and many organizations which help entrepreneurs incubate in their environment, help them get onto the path. So there is a lot of help available, which we tend not to look at many a
Mm-hmm.
times.
Mm.
So we need to look at those things which are readily available currently and get onto the journey and enjoy the ride. That's all I can say. And at
Mm.
the end of our lives, we should be proud of what we have done and not wasted our time on earth, is what I would say.
Mm. Awesome. And how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice?
Nice. Makes me feel special, actually. Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you, Sucha.
And
Thanks for
Naveen, thank you for being a host and also graciously making me a host in TGV Hindi. So, last two things I want to tell all those who are listening is please also listen to TGV Hindi on YouTube. And you can
or
see me on the
Spotify.
other side,
Yeah.
or Spotify or Apple Podcast. And for you can visit livingvalues.co.in for seeing the kind of work I have done in the last 3-4 years. And on Facebook also, it's Living Values T-shirts. And on Insta, it's Living Values T-shirts. Thank you for the advertising opportunity, Naveen.
All right. So pleasure. And so folks, do visit livingvalues.co.in and also do not forget to tune into TGV Hindi. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including YouTube. All right. So Sucha, thank you for taking time to be a guest on the Guiding Voice, and really appreciate your insights and the time that we have spent. I think it is going to definitely inspire a few fellow entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much, Naveen. Thank you.
That was our episode with Sucharitha Karri. And folks, before we move into the trivia section, here's a request to you. Please subscribe to The Guiding Voice if you haven't done already. Also, if you have tuned into this episode on Spotify or Apple, do not forget to follow. And also, if possible, request you to leave your rating or review so that it will help us reach wider audience. And folks, if you have loved this conversation and found it useful, request you to share with at least 3 of your friends and colleagues who can benefit from the Guiding Voice. Thanks in advance. Now, let's hop into trivia segment. Having a great conversation with a women entrepreneur, I thought I'll present you a few facts related to women entrepreneurs. In 2021, women-owned businesses in the US generated $1.9 trillion in revenue. And women-owned businesses account for 42% of all privately held homes in the United States. Only 2% of women-owned businesses reach $1 million in revenue. And the number of women-owned businesses has increased to 58% since 2007. Not only that, in 2021, only 36% of women-owned businesses received venture capital funding, and the number of women of color starting businesses has increased by 164% over the past decade. In 2021, women entrepreneurs in the US received only 4% of total small business loans. And if we consider the challenges faced by women entrepreneurs, their access to capital, networking, and balancing work and family. So likewise, if you have come across any inspiring women entrepreneur, share their details on social media, or if you're watching this episode on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment with their name and details, and we would be happy to connect with them and host them on this platform. And also, if you've heard some great stories, feel free to share them with us. Thank you so much for joining me. Folks, also share your topic recommendations and guest speaker suggestions through social media or email me at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. I'm your host Naveen Samala, just a fellow professional and a passionate learner, and on a mission to make the world a better place to live through the conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Until next time, bye-bye. Signing off for today. See you all in the next episode with another wonderful guest.